Drama-based instruction uses active and dramatic strategies to really focus on this quality of dialogic sense-making. So this terrific thing that happens when young people are in the room together making authentic connections to their own life with the curriculum.
We're offering them a different way of learning, and they're really starting to run with the idea that maths can be fun, or numeracy can be fun.
And it's really about how to make maths a little bit more physical and a little bit more embodied and a little bit more understood.
My greatest learning has been around understanding how to design creative and interesting lessons for students that makes the most of the content that they have to understand, but does it in ways that are really physical, that get them away from their desks and up on their feet and learning with their body as well as their mind.
The students are really interested, they're really attentive, because they see real problems being presented to them, and they're encouraged to find ways to explore sometimes the answer or various answers, but using their bodies and working with another person or working with a whole class.
We saw an immediate change in our children's attitude to maths and the learning of that. We've seen much faster take-up of understanding mathematical languages and concepts. The other really important aspect has been the teacher enthusiasm and learning through this. And just not the learning around body-based pedagogy, but significant learning about mathematics themselves because of their need to partner with the artists and explain deeply the mathematical concepts in order for the artist to be able to blend that through the body-based pedagogies.
I've heard several teachers explain what I'd call aha moments that they've had while they've been doing this, where they've observed children that they've struggled with lesson after lesson trying to develop an understanding of a particular concept, and they've taken them sometimes outside, done some of the body-based activities, and the child seems to have got it. And I think that's been a revelation for some of them.
When I think about DBI from a neuroscience point of view, or from a cognition point of view about students' thinking, I think we can see that it allows that action and that drama base, that movement, that's activating parts of kids' brains that really just aren't activated when they're sitting at a desk or doing some work. Linking movement with a thought or an idea actually means that we've linked it in our brains. We can bring together lots of ideas and express them together in that movement, in that drama-based instruction. And so I think what we're starting to see is, from the evidence, that enactment effect, acting out an idea, bringing together lots of ideas so it can think about it relationally, can see one thing in terms of another. That sort of sophistication of cognition, that sort of sophistication of learning, one of the ways in which we can achieve that is through drama-based instruction.
The ideas that underpin drama-based instruction are certainly consistent with the teaching for effective learning paradigm that we have at DECD. So the students are able to connect their learning, they're able to personalise it, and certainly it's about teachers understanding how students learn best.
They're doing the mathematical reasoning by being it, by acting it, by taking on that identity.
So we might use this work to teach something in the curriculum, like a number line, for example. Students are struggling to understand what that looks like. We might put it on our body and try to become the numbers in the number line and think about the relationship of those numbers. We're thinking about these spaces of academic, affective, and aesthetic learning that happens in the practice. And we're trying to make these larger connections to the human condition, to the relevant reasons of how we might apply that same thinking strategy into another context, and why we're doing this, really making thinking and meaning relevant.
If something like this was expanded in South Australian schools, where you had the teacher who knows about the learners and knows about the curriculum and knows about the learning environment and the context, working with an artist and a mathematics educator who both understand their disciplines and the best practice in those disciplines, then what you can be developing is a really consistent, cohesive program and a whole range of learning opportunities where students can be fully involved in learning their mathematics and certainly become more engaged and also more challenged in the activities that they're doing.
Now when teachers are thinking about how can I help my students to understand this numeracy, they've got that numeracy understanding, they've got an understanding of how kids learn numeracy, put that together with drama-based instruction, and that can take us to all kinds of great places.